The crystalline corridors of Castrima hummed with an ancient energy as Essen stumbled through its winding passages, her heart still racing from the encounter. Alabaster's sudden appearance had left her reeling, his body more stone than flesh now, a haunting reminder of what orogeny could do to those who wielded it. The com's residents watched her with mixed expressions of fear and curiosity, their whispers echoing off the geode walls. Ika, the headwoman, maintained a careful distance, understanding the gravity of what had just transpired. The air itself seemed charged with possibility, though whether it promised salvation or destruction remained unclear. As night settled in the underground sanctuary, Essen found herself unable to sleep, the weight of Alabaster's words pressing heavily on her consciousness. The Obelisk Gate, he had said, could change everything. But at what cost? Hoa, her stone-eater companion, remained a silent sentinel nearby, his marble-like features revealing nothing of his thoughts. Through the crystalline walls, she could sense the subtle vibrations of the earth, a constant reminder of the power that flowed through her veins. Meanwhile, in the com's central chamber, Ika gathered her council, their heated discussions about the newcomer's presence carrying through the geode's natural acoustics. Dawn brought no relief to Castrima's tensions. Alabaster's condition worsened, each movement causing more of his flesh to crystallize. His revelations about the true nature of the seasons and the Obelisk Gate came in painful bursts between moments of lucidity. Essen watched helplessly as her old mentor struggled against the transformation, while trying to teach her what she needed to know before it was too late. The com's residents had begun to divide into factions, those who believed in Alabaster's importance and those who saw him as a threat. As the day drew to a close, a distant rumbling suggested that their time for preparation might be shorter than anyone had hoped. In the shadows, stone eaters moved with purpose, their motives as opaque as their crystalline flesh. The geode's crystalline walls sparkled with an otherworldly glow as Essen traced her fingers along their smooth surface. Castrima's underground chambers stretched before her, a marvel of ancient engineering and natural beauty. The com's inhabitants moved through the crystalline corridors like shadows dancing in candlelight, their daily routines a delicate ballet of survival. Ika, the headwoman, had established a fragile balance here, where origins and stills lived side by side. Yet beneath the surface of this apparent harmony, Essen could sense the undercurrent of tension, the whispered fears and the sideways glances. The discovery of hidden chambers deeper within the geode brought both excitement and unease, as ancient mechanisms hummed to life at the touch of origin power. During the com meetings in the central chamber, Essen watched as Ika masterfully navigated the growing tensions between the origins and stills. The recent food shortages had everyone on edge, and the discovery that certain crystals responded to origin power only widened the divide. Yarka's strong voice often rose above others, advocating for unity, while Lerner's quiet medical wisdom helped soothe frayed nerves. But it was the mysterious disappearance of supplies from the lower storage chambers that truly set the com buzzing with suspicion. When young Cutter claimed to have seen shadows moving in the deepest tunnels, few believed him, until the strange markings appeared on the geode walls, pulsing with an ancient power that even Essen couldn't fully comprehend. The discovery shook Castrima to its core. Deep in the lowest chambers, where the crystal walls grew warm to the touch, they found the ancient control room. Ika and Essen stood before panels of crystal that responded to their presence, illuminating with patterns that seemed to tell a story of the world before. But it was the massive crystalline sphere suspended in the chamber's center that captured their attention. and their fear. As Essen's power touched it, the sphere began to rotate, sending pulses of energy through the entire comm. The walls themselves seemed to breathe, and in that moment, everyone in Castrima felt it. Their sanctuary was more than just a shelter. It was awakening. When the first tremors began, they couldn't tell if they came from above or below. But the fear in Yika's eyes told Essen all she needed to know. They had activated something that had slept for centuries, and there would be no going back. The dust-covered road stretched endlessly before Nassun and her father Jija, each step taking them further from the ruins of their former life. The young girl's heart ached with every mile, not just from the physical strain, but from the weight of her mother's absence and her father's silent hatred. The winter air bit at their faces as they trudged through small abandoned communities, seeking shelter each night like wounded animals. Jija's eyes never softened when they looked at her now, and Nassun found herself counting the seconds between his glances, wondering if each one might be the last before his fear of her nature finally overcame his love. They encountered other travelers, all heading south, all carrying stories of destruction and hope in equal measure. One evening, huddled around a communal fire with strangers, Nassun first heard whispers of Found Moon, a place where people like her might find salvation, or something far more sinister. Their nights in temporary shelters became a dance of unspoken fears. Nassun learned to control her breathing when she woke from nightmares, masking her terror from her father's watchful gaze. The journey brought them through a series of underground tunnels, where the darkness seemed to whisper ancient secrets. It was here that Nassun first felt the strange pulling sensation, an invisible thread tugging at her very essence. The sensation grew stronger as they moved south, and with it came dreams of crystal spires and humming stones. Other travelers joined their small group, including a mysterious woman who watched Nassun with knowing eyes. The child caught her practicing strange movements in the pre-dawn light, movements that seemed to make the very earth shiver. When questioned, the woman vanished the next day, leaving behind only a crude map marked with symbols Nassun couldn't understand but somehow felt she should. As they approached the southern territories, Nassun's powers began to manifest in ways she couldn't control. Small tremors followed her emotional outbursts, and she swore the very stones sang to her in her sleep. Jija's fear became more palpable, his hand often straying to the knife at his belt. Their group encountered a band of raiders, and in the chaos that followed, Nassun instinctively protected herself in a way that left both attackers and witnesses in awe and terror. The incident attracted the attention of a group of mysterious travelers who seemed to know exactly what Nassun was. Among them was a figure from her past, someone she thought she'd never see again. The revelation would change the course of their journey forever, leading them to a choice between survival and understanding the true nature of power. In the dim corridors of Found Moon, Nassun finds an unexpected source of comfort in Schaffa, the guardian who once struck fear into orogenies across the stillness. His silver-streaked hair and gentle smile mask a complex past. But to Nassun, he becomes the father figure she desperately needs. During their quiet evening sessions, Schaffa teaches her not just control over her powers, but shares stories of the old world, his voice soft and melodious in the candlelight. Yet beneath these tender moments, something darker stirs. The mysterious presence in Schaffa's mind that makes his eyes flash silver in moments of strain. Nassun notices how he sometimes pauses mid-sentence, fighting an invisible battle within. As Nassun's training intensifies, she discovers abilities that both excite and terrify her. Under Schaffa's watchful eye, she learns to manipulate the obelisks floating high above Found Moon, each attempt bringing new revelations. The other children watch with a mixture of awe and fear as she progresses far beyond their capabilities. Meanwhile, Jija, her father, grows increasingly distant, his presence in Found Moon like a shadow that never quite disappears. During one particularly powerful session, Nassun accidentally connects with an obelisk so deeply that she glimpses something ancient and terrible, a truth about the world that Schaffa quickly helps her push away. Though his own silver eyes betray recognition, the bond between Nassun and Schaffa deepens, but with it comes a heavy cost. During a moment of crisis, when Schaffa's internal battle with his silver corruption reaches a breaking point, Nassun makes a choice that will forever change their relationship. Using her growing powers, she reaches into the very essence of what makes Schaffa who he is, attempting to help him fight the force that threatens to consume him. The process reveals memories of his past, fragments of violence and tenderness that help Nassun understand the true nature of their connection. The session ends with both of them changed, their fates now intertwined in ways neither fully understands, while in the distance, the obelisks pulse with an ominous rhythm that only Nassun can feel.
Thank you for venturing into this realm with me. If you crave more enchanted worlds, mythical battles, and secrets whispered from ancient pages, join the Guild of Storybound Explorers. Subscribe now and ring the bell to unlock every new quest the moment it drops. The next chapter awaits. Will you answer the call?